Payfo mienu mo na munduro so nkwasiafo Samira Bawumia. Me say Samira Bawumia, stop people from talking about me. Me come wasema. I don't know what stop Obronye. Samira, why did you call Obronye to tell him say he should not mention my name, you and me? I didn't know what usro. Abufnu. You Samira Bawumia. Wallahi. Me say asasi we so. Obia me to find born in China. And you know, tell your husband. Unkwasi asam na wo di ye politics no. Me do me mawu. Ena me do me yire. The same way I do ukunu na wo do mba. Yan hwe de ne yire ne mba betena ase ache. Si asam o dwinsa ufri chat. Itu betuma ide ope bia beboa. Woni afenyo maki we. Me makacha afenyo say he will not enter parliament. Owura ho biem 2028 afenyo can spend billions. He will never enter parliament in 2028. Oh, Samira, me so woni afenyo market mumienu. Afenyo can spend the life savings in 2028. Obetum ya boss no motwa e ne kuro nyina hia. He will not enter parliament again. And he will never understand it. Anhwe be ne a dam. Obetum dia faso abodam afenyo market. E be ne say a dam. Now what there, you know, between you and I, you know what is there. Samira, you know. You know. Now, and the Afenyamaki ka sembi ewo pilot. Me say, catch that Obronye se ombra. Now me be defend Samira, me be me chire wade, me you dross achire. Wo Samira, me you dross e show ase me yi. Na me de achire Ghana fo. Sa small boy uche kwasi campaign na odiu. Na damfo. Ode ne chire, wo damfo ode chire uche kodi na uche. Me say me you ase dross say de achire Ghana fo. Wo. You have no idea. See, I just saw you the keke. Falas and what you call. Yeah, here. I there by force to say, I was say, yeah, Bawumia president, and oh, bottom. Is it force? Samira, oh, you say a force to say, I was say Ghana, yeah, Bawumia president, and oh, bottom. And he just want to do everything to make Bawumia president? Huh? Again, say force to say Bawumia be the president. Me Bawumia me any problem. But wo as far as only Bawumia ware no problem be aka Bawumia. Me say me person catch we MPP for no more TikTok ne dey say obi mbeye say me be defend the Bawumia me often animumbra me I don't respond to people without face so me I don't do that what about mama me ma Obronye ne sanko for the better say me na me be defend ba Samira na me kire wade. Why are you stopping them? Let them come now kwa dey na wo ye na no kan kire omo siasam ka kire omo no mbra me say me you ase draw to say na me dey a kire Ghana for. Is it president of the Air Force? Onyame na catch the Ghana for say, Mama ma Bawumia be the president. You don't have any power to do that. And I'm steady here. Obronye started having Mumuza started in Wejai. Mumuza runs, hey, Obronye say Kasha will say, yeah, Kevin Taylor, or Samira, or Jina Samira, so also Baby defend Samira, only Kevin Taylor. I don't know, Mumuza Obronye started in Wejai. Me, I don't deal with people. I don't see your face. So me, I don't deal with obit internet. So me, win a nim, win any pama, me, we a toilet shit. Me, grab me. Me here with your way nim. Or say on a customer MPP. Or then the year pay you MPP mu. Me pay ni bina me pay. Afenya marking a car sembi. Oh, child in your boy, I would say Jimmy at Ghana. To be our dog, no sana me domme. Sibia would do umbano, sana me so me domemma. And I don't think you want to leave your kids behind. The same way I don't also want to leave my kids behind. The way I would do by, you want to live for long and protect your kids in the same way. So we all have to defend our family. Minority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has dismissed calls for reparatory justice over the transatlantic slave trade. Listen to the word very well. Reparatory justice over the transatlantic slave trade, noting that some indigents also participated in the inhumane treatment of their people. He, however, condemned the cruel and degrading conditions suffered by the victims. And the Afenyo-Markin was campaigning in the Parliament. Suddenly, MPP for Afenyo-Markin say, John Mahama, Oba UN, Ebema Abrofu be G2 mu say, Omo di bibi for boneno. Or say, Enfasuo ni so. Na asem nyina o kan say, I adenti tio. So we study Asama John Mahama edeba UN a. Obeka kire UN, United Nations say, yani atia mo abrofo am wo ha mo involve mo ho ewo Atlantic slave trade ni mu no. You did harm to the African. John Mahama did not go to UN to say mo abrofo na mo UN no. Eye enkwasoma mo de Ghana fo fe mu no. Munjim tum se mo ha Ghana fo. And in the Bemkan say Afenyo-Markin with Jimmy. John Mahama by UN or say there's something called transatlantic slave trade. Meaning, John Mahama did not go to the UN to go and say, Ghana for aye for musa omuye slaves. Abrafuni jintum say omaye boni. John Mahama say Bibinia akwesi broni eba na saase so. Edi enhye ebefa omumu bi. Sebio na etia omwankasa nipa efa ahudie no. John Mahama say abrofo no omo nananka nso ne omo nananom omo ye saade no. Omo njintum se omo nananom no anya ade. Omo yeden omo die bone. But Afenyo-Markin in Parliament e ka kire Ghana for say John Mahama ko pay sika for abrofo because of slave trade. Afenyo-Markin with Jimmy. And then you can say MPP for no. Majority of them are stupid. Now, Afenyo-Markin say, the John Mahama kweye no mfa so ni so free say, oba Ghana na ye wo Ghana fo ni bia na omobo abrofo no mo ton kwa. Enti John Mahama ye no mfa so ni so free say, e bibifo no so boaye. So now you sit and you ask yourself, say, okay, Afenyo-Markin point in saying, Momi anko tie no e wo Parliament.
Somebody bets a vessel, a boat at Cape Coast, and you decide to go to the north, go to the Bono area, get to the Ashanti area, get into the Asin area, and you are chasing your own people, the strongest amongst them. Then after 100 years, you say, I should be compensated. Who should compensate who? Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, I don't want us to create a certain impression that, expressing an opposing view to this whole reparation thing makes you anti-African or you are not thinking about the suffering. Who suffered? We maltreated our own. We maltreated our own and told the white man that he should also maltreat our own. So, Mr. Speaker, the story must be told and be put in its proper context. it is also a fact that inhumane treatment, the unfortunate humiliation, the marginalization, the injustice, the abuse of our ancestors who became victims of this slave trade, Mr. Speaker, must be condemned, and I so condemn him. They were treated as less human.
So after your marking brought for parliament in Ghana say, Ghana Frontiers say, John Mahama Eko Abrochino, Onuni Timno, John Mahama kosre compensation sika. Say Abrofon Tamu sika maye. Into ono de adentin Abrofon Tamu sika maye because ye de before no. Ye hu nipa ne bi. Ena ye boa ye. Ema ye bechi ye nuanum bi a na sebio enye omope. Now, when John Mahama went to the UN, one, John Mahama did not go ask for money. The priority and a binding John Mahama message or the call UN and say, Yene, Yatia, as our sisters say, about 60 to 70% of us, we did not go through the slave trade. Meaning, Abrafon Parliament, you know, Omo Papa nom ne ye, and you may be Omo ye, you know. They have to admit to say, Omo Papanum, Eddie, Africans abroad. John Mahama could have gone to UN and tabled the trade in Ghana, the slave trade in Ghana. But John Mahama went and said the transatlantic slave trade. There was a reason why John Mahama stuck to that word. Because enye obia or Africa be an African be a supporter say yen tamno fa nkwa abrochire enko using the sabwa. Se ebibufo ni bi edi enim ema sade ni bi happen ya. It is our business. It is up to us to speak to ourselves, each other, to understand, say, this act that was done by this group of Africans wasn't right. So we have to have a reflection. But what John Mahama was seeking for was the person who did most of the damage to our ancestors, because nobody is going to speak for our ancestors. It is only us who came to inherit the history. We are the only people who can speak for our ancestors, for those who committed that inhumane crimes against our ancestors, to admit that their forefathers basically committed a crime against humanity, against us. So John Mahama wasn't looking for money. John Mahama wasn't looking for compensation. John Mahama wanted to set the record straight that if even during the slave trade, my people, some of them, out of ignorance, were convinced to do that, I want you people to admit that your forefathers, at the end of the day, played a major role in destroying our forefathers. So it is not about you, Afenyomakin, thinking, said John Mahama went to the UN seeking or asking for money. On said, Afenyomakin were kwasia, we Jimmy. We were in this same country. And Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, he went to the same UN. DW Africa reported the story. Or see, Ghanaian President Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo has called for the payment. Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, Oko UN, he did not go ask for the Americans and the Europeans to admit to their crime. Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo went to the UN to ask for money. See, there are two different things here we are talking about. John Mahama went for people to admit to their crimes. Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo of the MPP went to ask for compensation. Ghanaian President Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo has called for the payment of reparation to African nations as a response to the historical injustice caused by the transatlantic slave trade. During his speech at the United Nations, on Wednesday, he emphasized the importance of addressing the issues of reparation at this time. He stated that the world has been unwilling and unable to address the consequences of the slave trade for centuries. And I quote, "It is time to acknowledge openly that much of Europe and the United States have been built from the vast wealth harvested from the sweat, tear, blood, and horror of the transatlantic slave trade." End of quote. Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, the message, was basically based on money and compensation. And before Nana Akufo-Addo went to the UN to speak, so many leaders from Africa had gone to the UN to make the same speech. Why do you think those white people whose forefathers committed such atrocities did not put that motion on the table?